everybody, it's Derek again with the Ultimate Hang. This time we're looking at a bridge hammock. This is the Eureka Chrysalis, available from Eureka, Canada. And this is a bridge style hammock that is like a floating cot. It's really has a fantastic lay, very comfortable, and it has quite a modular component set that you can mix and match. Let me point those out real quick. The Eureka hammock proper is in this bag, and it comes with the bed, the poles, and a suspension kit. This hammock by itself is great for, backyard, in the house. It doesn't come with a bug net. It doesn't have a tarp fly or rain shelter. Those come separate. But if you already have a tarp, if you already have a bug netting, some of those bug nettings can fit over the Chrysalis, but they do can be purchased separately. If you are intending to go camping, the Chrysalis has a matching, this is the camper sleeve, and it has a integrated bug net already inside of it, and a tarp that is fitted over the hammock. I'm going to show you. It's really a fairly unique setup. It kind of reminds me of a canoe when it's all put together, or kind of a boat. It's pretty cool. If you want a bug net, this is the Eureka's bug net. It's called the Tropic Screen, and it goes over the Chrysalis hammock, much like the camper sleeve does, but only provides the bug net. So again, you can get the bug netting, put any kind of a tarp over the top. So very modular componentry. All right, here is the Chrysalis out of the stuff sack. There's some pole covers, and here's the suspension. We've got one side suspension, basically consists of a webbing strap. There is a ridgeline piece also out of a webbing strap, and here's the other suspension piece. And what I really like about the new suspension, Eureka just recently updated it. There is a sewn eye loop on one end where you can fasten. This is the hook. And then they've got a ladder lock here. The ladder lock allows you to adjust the suspension, and also you can connect hardware to it if you'd like. You could also connect hardware to this piece as well. But this is, if those familiar with the Dutch hooks, these are very similar in function, although the design is a little bit different. And it makes going around a tree and setting up the suspension really quick. I love these. Let's go put it up. This is the hook that attaches to the eye loop of the end of the webbing strap, and it secures in place right there. This piece can also be attached to, if you had other hardware like a carabiner or a hook of some kind, you could actually attach it here. But it actually is designed to go around the strap. So go around your tree and it hooks on like this. That makes it take down and set up very easy and quick, because all I have to do is unhook that strap. It's very similar to the Dutch clip or Dutch hook. Now the adjustable part of the suspension is this what's called a ladder lock, and the ladder lock is designed like a tri-glide right here. That tri-glide allows you to pull the working end and slide it back and forth to get the right distance you need. So it's super easy. And when you're ready to lock it down, this hook right here, you take both the working and standing end of that strap and hook it on like this, and that holds it secure. If you want, you could tie a safety knot, like a slippery hitch here, but I haven't really found that necessary. It holds pretty well, but in certain cases that might work. Now the hammock itself will clip onto this piece here, and the ridge line will connect onto this piece, and that's how it all goes together. Alright, I've got the hammock halfway set up. I've connected the hammock triangle here to the ladder lock on both ends, and you can leave the suspension attached to the hammock like this, and it could work. My preference has always been, and if you've read any of my literature, you know that I prefer to do the suspension first and attach the hammock once it's ready. That way I can keep the hammock off the ground and keep everything nice and dry under a tarp if I need to. But you can leave it connected onto the ladder lock. So this is where we're going to attach the, here we have it right here. This is the ridge line, and the ridge line is important for a number of reasons. One is the ridge line prevents, in a bridge hammock, so here's the bridge almost set up. what can happen is actually a reverse banana shape where you get an arch on your back. If the hammock is pulled too tight between the trees, a bridge hammock can actually bow your back. So it's a really interesting phenomenon. And a ridgeline then is fairly essential to a bridge to prevent that. And Eureka has done a favor by creating a ridgeline that's already measured and ready to go. In fact, there's no adjustment to it. You just clip it on. And part of that is because all of the components are designed to go together. When you have the bug netting and the camper sleeve, when everything is attached, it actually measures perfectly together. So I'm going to finish putting that together in just a second. But first I'm going to show the poles. These are the spreader bar poles, and they help to create that bridge design by pulling out the fabric. The Chrysalis comes with these handy little sleeves that protect, I should say, the sleeves from the hammock. And they are just bolted in right here. Now I've actually taken these apart. It's very easy to take those off. I guess if you wanted to, you could assemble your own poles if you're trying to find ways to minimize weight. But you know, I even used a PVC pipe and I just put it between the poles, and it actually worked just fine because of the compressive forces. However, I found after using it that these poles work just fine and the package goes really well together. So I just recommend, that's my personal recommendation. So we're going to put these poles together and get the hammock all laid out. All right, I've got the Chrysalis set up in its basic format. You can see the ridgeline there, keeping the shape and the perfect lay. The pole sleeves undone. Now let's look at some of the features here. On both the head and foot end of the hammock, you've got a storage area, and there is a double layer. This is so you can slide a pad sleeve all the way through under the hammock, or in between I should say. It's a double layer, which is really nice. It does have a specific head end right here where the tags are. You can see this is the head, and it's really convenient to put gear and other things here at the different ends of the hammock. Now this is it. This is the Chrysalis in its basic format. From here on, we're going to add a bug netting, the camper sleeve, which is the integrated tarp and bug net, onto this hammock. The Tropic Sleeve Bug Net is essentially a tube-style bug net. And on one end, it's got a very large zipper, and you can use that to just kind of go around the Chrysalis. It sometimes helps if you want to take down the spreader bars, but you can do it with the spreader bars on. And it has a little Velcro attachment that hooks around the ends of the suspension. So we're going to put this sleeve around and show you what it looks like when it's done. I want to point out a quick detail about the ladder locks and the suspension on the hammock. You'll notice that the Chrysalis actually has on these triangles that help hold out the hammock, there's a sewn loop right at the end. It's very important that you hook on through this loop and not just randomly somewhere along this webbing, because if you do, it's very easy for this ladder lock to slide along the webbing and you might tip out. So make sure you put it through that hole. All right, here is the Chrysalis with the Tropic Sleeve Bug Netting. Now I want to point out a couple of key features. There is the zippered entrance on both sides, double zipper pulls, and on each of the corners, this is one of the details that shows kind of the attention to detail from Eureka. There are Velcro tabs on each of the corners, and not only does the Tropic Sleeve Bug Netting, but also the camper sleeve have similarly placed hook and loop tabs so that it kind of secures the components together. Oh, behold the Eureka Chrysalis with the camper sleeve. This is that boat shape I was referring to earlier. Now the camper sleeve has the integrated bug netting on the bottom and a rain shell on top. And similar to the Tropic Sleeve Bug Netting, the 360 bug netting, the camper sleeve is like a tube and it slides over. And if I were to have any real complaint about the entire system here, is that camper sleeve. It is just a little difficult to put on. or I should say cumbersome. I mean, it slides over, but it's not the most convenient. Again, you can take the spreader bars out first and then put the sleeves on. It's just a little easier. But let me point out a couple of quick details. Again, there are patches of Velcro on each of the corners to tighten it down, but it also has little pull tabs. So you could, if you wanted to, tie on some guy line and stake that down. And the only reason you would do that, if you wanted to, is to help create a tight tarp, to pull those corners down for rain protection. But it does have pretty good wraparound rain protection, you can see here. Like the bug netting, the camper sleeve has a zippered entrance through the bug netting. This is kind of a unique design. It has this pull-out rain fly, and that rain fly, when it's not, you can see that it has Velcro tabs here on the bottom. And when we go inside, as I mentioned, the ridge line that's already integrated, there's this little patch of Velcro that slides around. And you can use that patch of Velcro to attach, so if you needed a little bit of air circulation, these tarp sleeves can be attached up here. Let's see if I can do that with one hand. Like so. And that, when you're in the hammock, can allow for some air ventilation. If it's raining pretty hard, you can take that same Velcro, and the very bottom of the hammock bed, right there, I can feel it, is another patch of Velcro. So I can take, there it is, there's that patch. And so I can take this, and you can do this when you're in the hammock too. Snag it up in there. And that kind of secures the camper sleeve. Now there is a head end. You can see there's a ventilation port up here for the head end, so you want to make sure that that's aligned correctly, which I have it here. And a little stiffener that helps pop it up just a little bit. So bottom line, the Eureka Chrysalis is a great hammock. I mean, it is very comfortable. It is, of the three bridge style hammocks, it is like one of the top in terms of comfort. Very, very wide on the shoulders, nice wide spreader bars. It is the heaviest of the three hammocks, so in that regard, it's maybe not the top choice for some people that want a backpack, but you definitely could take it backpacking. It's comparable to a pulled tent, single-person pulled tent. So it's all about the comfort. It's about how you want to sleep in the night and wake up in the morning. And especially with the integrated camper sleeve, it makes a very nice system, very nice integrated hammock and bug net combination. I love it. I've spent the summer with it. It's very comfortable, and I could recommend it no problem to anybody that is looking for a very comfortable bridge hammock that is just bomb-proof, very durable, and all the components work well together. And in terms of setup, the suspension system is super easy to understand, super easy to put up. So yeah, even beginners, this is a great hammock for people that are just wanting to start in hammock camping. So give it a try. There it is. Chrysalis.